Black cod, also known as sablefish or black sablefish, is one of the deep-sea fish species highly valued for its meat quality and distinctive flavor. This species primarily inhabits cold, deep waters, such as those in the North Pacific Ocean, and is known for its tender, rich, and naturally buttery flesh, making it highly popular in gourmet cuisine. It is also a commercially valuable fish, harvested using various methods that aim to maintain quality while protecting the marine environment. Catching black cod using hook and line is a manual yet effective fishing method, commonly used by fishermen in deep, cold ocean waters where this species lives. The process begins by lowering long lines into the sea. Before being dropped, each hook is baited, usually with small fish or squid, to attract the black cod. After waiting for a while, once the fish are hooked, the fishermen start hauling the lines back onto the boat. Large and strong fish often struggle, so crew members use special gaffs, hooked poles, to lift them safely onto the deck, taking care not to damage the meat. When the fish are brought onto the deck, each one is taken to the cleaning area, where clean seawater is used to wash off the slime and any dirt from the fish's outer surface. After this initial rinse, workers cut off the heads and completely remove the internal organs, making sure no parts are left behind that could affect the quality or flavor of the fish meat. Immediately after processing, the fish are quickly transferred to the freezing area. Once the fish are completely frozen, they are placed into molds and compressed into rectangular blocks of standard size, making them easy to stack and store. After packaging, each frozen block is lifted by a crane mounted on the vessel and carefully arranged in the cold storage room, which is equipped with a strict temperature control system. This ensures the product is well preserved and ready for distribution to domestic markets or for international export. In addition to the hook and line method, black cod is also harvested using fish traps, a passive fishing method that causes minimal harm to the fish and is considered more environmentally friendly. These traps are usually made with sturdy metal frames covered in durable mesh and are designed with one-way entrances that allow fish to swim in but prevent them from escaping. The traps are placed on the seafloor in areas with high fish density, and bait is placed inside to lure the fish in naturally. Because this method results in less stress and damage to the fish, the meat quality is typically higher than that of hook-caught fish. For this reason, the fish are kept whole and unprocessed in temporary cold storage areas on the vessel. Unlike the hook and line method, the fish are not processed on board. Instead, they are lifted by crane once the vessel reaches shore and then transported to a processing plant. At the plant, the black cod is thoroughly washed, headed, and eviscerated, and then packaged whole, according to commercial standards. This method is commonly used for markets that demand premium whole fish. And here is a video showing a beautiful technique for filleting black cod. You can refer to it for inspiration when preparing this fish at home. Have you ever heard of a cow that lives at an altitude of over 4,000 meters, can withstand cold temperatures below -40 degrees Celsius, and breathes easily in the thin air of the Himalayas? That is the yak, a survival machine in the harsh, natural environment, an animal that has been associated with the nomadic life of Tibet for thousands of years. Not only is it special in its extraordinary adaptability, the yak is also a comprehensive source of life. From milk, meat, to fur, skin, and even dung for burning. But what makes this animal become a legend in the land it inhabits? Nestled among the majestic mountains of Tibet and the Himalayas, the yak stands as a living symbol of the wild and harsh nature. With its thick fur like an eternal winter cloak, powerful curved horns, and massive stature, the yak is not only a strange creature, but also a testament to the extraordinary ability to survive on the roof of the world. For thousands of years, this special cow has been closely associated with the lives of the people in the highlands, providing food, materials, and cultural beliefs. Yak is not just an animal, but a living legend in the vastness of nature. Deep black eyes hidden behind thick fur exude a calm but alert look. With a large, stocky body and sturdy hooves, the yak embodies the strength, endurance, and mysterious beauty of the wild, snowy land. People often graze them naturally in a nomadic way, letting yaks forage for grass, moss, and wild plants. They are very strong, cold-resistant, and disease-free. In winter, farmers often store hay to supplement. Yaks live in herds, need large spaces and clean water sources. Regular health monitoring helps ensure the stable and sustainable development of the yak herd. Males begin to compete, displaying strength to attract females by roaring, rubbing horns, and fighting. Yaks usually enter their breeding season in the summer, from July to September, when the climate is more temperate. After mating, female yaks are pregnant for about 8 months and usually give birth to only 1 calf per litter in the spring of the following year, when the grass begins to grow again, making it easier to raise the calf. Milking a yak is a daily task, usually in the early morning and late afternoon, when the cow has partially lactated and her udders are softer. The herder milks the cow directly by hand, while gently holding the calf close to stimulate the mother yak to produce milk. Yak milk is not as abundant as that of a regular dairy cow, but it is very nutritious, fatty, and fragrant. The process of making cheese from yak milk in the highlands is often done entirely by hand, with rudimentary tools associated with nomadic life and harsh climates. After milking, the milk is gently warmed in a large pot. Then natural yeast from young animal stomachs or sour water is added to stimulate coagulation. The mixture is stirred and left to stand for several hours until it forms a curd. Once the milk has curdled, the worker will use a bamboo or wooden knife to cut the curd into small pieces to separate the serum, or milk water. The mixture is then poured into a thick cloth bag or bamboo basket and left to drain for many hours, sometimes up to a day, to squeeze out all the water. In addition to milk for cheese, yaks are also used as draft animals, transporting goods through steep and dangerous mountain passes thanks to their strong health and sturdy legs. They help people in the highlands move and live conveniently in harsh terrain and climate conditions. During the cold winter, yaks are often kept indoors or in closed barns to avoid cold winds and keep them warm, helping them maintain their health and milk production in harsh conditions. Thanks to their thick and long fur, Highland people use yak hair to weave clothes, blankets, and traditional handicrafts, keeping them warm and durable in the cold climate. Do you find the yak, with its extraordinary strength and important role in Highland life, interesting and special? Look, those strong teeth are being shredded by the pliers. It sounds strange, but that's what adult pufferfish are forced to go through. So why do they always have to cut the teeth of the pufferfish? Why is such a small, cute, and funny fish a dish that makes others wary? All the secrets about this strange and contradictory fish will be revealed right in the video. Young pufferfish are usually raised in a controlled environment before being released into the ocean to develop naturally. Raising young pufferfish indoors ensures that they have good living conditions, are well fed, and grow healthily. In addition, during this period, the fish will be carefully cared for so that they can adapt to the marine environment when released. After reaching the appropriate size and health, the baby pufferfish will be released to the sea, where they can live freely, hunt, and grind their teeth naturally, developing according to their wild instincts. In addition, raising them indoors also helps control the water environment, temperature, and other factors, ensuring that the fish are not infected or stressed. Pufferfish are provided with a nutritious diet such as snails, shrimp, and bloodworms, helping them to grind their teeth naturally and develop their bodies. In captivity, if there is no suitable food to grind the teeth, the breeder must periodically trim the pufferfish's teeth, helping them to eat normally and maintain their health. Every day, workers at the pufferfish farm feed the fish at regular times. They carefully check the amount of food, choosing the right type for each stage of the fish's development. From live food, such as shrimp and small snails, to frozen food or pellets. They don't just feed them. They also observe their behavior, checking to see if they are eating well and if they show signs of fatigue or illness. Adult pufferfish can eat specialized dry pellets, but they generally prefer live food. Protein-rich pellets can supplement the diet, but should not completely replace natural foods such as shrimp, crab, and snails. Once pufferfish are of sufficient weight, they are carefully transported to large restaurants. Pufferfish are usually transported in water tanks with filtration and oxygen systems to sustain life during the long journey. Because pufferfish are sensitive to the environment, the transportation process must be done quickly and carefully, avoiding stress or injury to the fish. This dish is known to be dangerous because pufferfish can contain deadly toxins if not prepared properly. Therefore, only chefs with special certificates are allowed to prepare pufferfish, ensuring the safety of diners. One of the most expensive crabs in the world, the red crab. With its sweet flavor, firm meat, and high economic value, the red crab is not only a beloved delicacy, but also a highly sought-after product globally. Join us as we explore the harvesting, processing, and preservation process that keeps this crab's freshness intact in today's video. Atlantic red crab fishing is a specialized fishery activity that takes place in deep offshore waters, where fishermen must contend with rough seas and harsh conditions to harvest this high-value species. The most common method used is bottom trapping, which involves sturdy, box-shaped traps baited with fresh fish or squid to attract the crabs. After about 1 to 2 days, the fishermen return to retrieve the traps. Once hauled up, the crabs caught inside are quickly picked out, roughly sorted, and transferred to a chilled hold below deck, where they are stored in cool, well-ventilated conditions to keep them alive and fresh until the boat reaches shore. After all the traps have been hauled up and the crabs fully collected, the fishing vessel begins its journey back to the temporary receiving station. The travel time can range from a few hours to over a day, depending on the fishing location and weather conditions at sea. When the vessel arrives at the port, the crab unloading process begins. Each crate of crabs stored in the hold is lifted using cranes, pulleys, or manually in the case of smaller boats. Workers carefully transfer the crabs from the hold to the deck, avoiding sudden shaking or impact, as the crabs are highly prone to broken claws or death from sudden temperature changes. The crabs are carefully placed into specialized plastic containers, typically designed with ventilation holes and insulated walls. Inside the containers, ice or cooling gel is used to maintain a stable temperature between 0 and 4 degrees Celsius, the ideal range for preserving crabs without causing them to die from cold shock. Red crabs are primarily used for their meat. After being transported to the factory, the crabs undergo a thorough quality check and sorting process. Next, the crabs are quickly cooled and boiled to preserve their fresh, natural flavor. Once cooled, the meat is carefully extracted, and the shells and unnecessary parts are discarded. The crab meat is then cleaned, meticulously prepared, and packaged, ready for distribution or export. In addition to being processed for meat, red crabs are also frozen whole to meet the diverse needs of customers, making them easier to transport and store for long periods. One of the popular preparation methods is steaming the crabs, which helps retain their natural flavor and the quality of the meat.